6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The caretaker Prime Minister has assured UNICEF of all facilities in generating employment opportunities for the country's youth. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey have reaffirmed the importance of combining financial and human resource to achieve shared objectives in the defense domain. The President has underscored the need for implementing employment quota of persons with disabilities to empower them. Maritime security exercise Sea Guard 24 started in Karachi today to ensure security of the maritime zones of the country. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, strict curfew has been imposed days ahead of the so-called celebrations of the Indian Republic Day. 43 Palestinians have been martyred in the continued Israeli aggression in Gaza and the West Bank. And now the news in detail. The caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haqqaqar has assured UNICEF of all facilities and projects of generating employment opportunities for the youth. He was talking to the UNICEF representative in Pakistan, Abdullah Fazil, in Islamabad today. The Prime Minister also extended support to UNICEF for introducing technology in the education sector of the backward areas of the country. He said illiteracy could significantly be reduced by providing access to the latest information with the help of tablets to students of the backward areas of the country. The Prime Minister also appreciated UNICEF for extending help to the education sector in Azad Jammu and Kashmir despite severe criticism from India. Anwarul Haqqaqar lauded the role of UNICEF in anti-polio campaign and said a positive change was being seen in the public attitude towards anti-polio initiatives due to the mutual cooperation of Pakistan and organizations like UNICEF. The caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haqqaqar also asked the United Nations Children's Fund to formulate a new strategy for education of out-of-school children in Pakistan. The caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haqqaqar has directed to accelerate the process of privatization of Pakistan International Airlines and outsourcing of airport operations. Talking to the advisor on aviation, retired Air Marshal Farhat Hussain, who called on him in Islamabad today, he said transparency should be a priority in the whole process of privatization of PIA and outsourcing of airport operations. During the meeting, the advisor informed the Prime Minister in detail about the affairs of his ministry and reforms in the aviation sector. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey have reaffirmed the importance of combining their intellectual, technical, financial, and human resource to achieve common objectives and attainment of self-sufficiency in the defense domain. The resolve was expressed at the second meeting of Pakistan, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Turkey trilateral defense collaboration in Rawalpindi today. The meeting provided an opportunity to discuss prospective collaboration in defense equipment technologies, including research and development. Acknowledging the historical brotherly relations, the three sides reiterated the strategic intent to increase the scope of trilateral cooperation and the need to enhance the pace of collaboration in pursuit of common goals. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, has underscored the need for implementing employment quota of special persons at all levels of government for their financial empowerment. Chairing a meeting in Islamabad today, he suggested the government departments to identify jobs for special persons and provide them employment to increase their inclusion in the workforce. The President said special persons constitute about 12% of the country's population, and affirmative actions like job quota could help overcome the existing barriers to their employment. He underscored the need to equip special persons with employable skills and link them with potential employers to provide jobs to them as per the nature of their disability. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have reaffirmed the desire to enhance defense cooperation in all domains to achieve self sufficiency in the field of defense production. This came at the third meeting of Pakistan Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Defense Collaboration at the General Headquarters in Rawalpindi. The meeting underscored the significance of historical relations between the two brotherly states. The participants also discussed issues of bilateral interest and evolving security environment. The two sides deliberated upon rapid advancements in military technologies and the need for defense industrial cooperation between the two sides. This is Radio Pakistan. Tomorrow is the last date to dispose of appeals filed against acceptance or rejection of nomination papers for the general elections by the appellate tribunals. These tribunals are being headed by judges of the high courts. According to the election schedule, the preliminary list of candidates will be displayed on Thursday, and candidates can withdraw their nomination papers till Friday. Maritime security exercise Sea Guard 24 started in Karachi today. The Commander Coast, Vice Admiral Raja Rab Nawaz, graced the occasion as the chief guest. The exercise involves representation of various ministries, departments and organizations linked with maritime sector to support multifaceted challenges of maritime sector, both from traditional and non-traditional threats. The exercise aims at synergizing efforts of the stakeholders to ensure security of maritime zones of Pakistan. A two-day Global Health Security Summit is starting in Islamabad tomorrow with the aim to ensure pandemic preparedness and response on equity basis. This was stated by the Caretaker Minister for National Health Services, Dr. Nadeem Jan, and the Caretaker Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Murtaza Solangi, at a news conference in Islamabad today. Nadeem Jan said Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar would inaugurate the moot, and more than 70 national and international delegates will attend it. Senator Mushahid Hussain Sayyid has appealed to the United Nations Secretary General to play a more proactive role to end crimes against humanity in Kashmir and Palestine. Talking to a private news channel, he said Kashmir dispute and the Palestinian issue are so similar that both the nations have been promised the inalienable right to self-determination, which has yet not been fulfilled. He said the two nations are facing an existential humanity threat, and if international community does not act immediately, these entities, their cultures and population will be wiped out. The Indian authorities have intensified cordon and search operations and house raids across the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, days ahead of the so-called celebration of the Indian Republic Day on January 26. The Indian troops continued search operations and house raids in Srinagar, Kupwara, Baramulla, Bandipora, Ganderbal, Badgam, Islamabad, Anantnag, Pulwama, Shupanya, Kulgam, Rambhan, Kishtwar, Rajouri and Punch districts. The authorities have imposed night curfew in Jammu region and ordered that no person or groups will move from 10 in the night to 6 in the morning. At least 43 Palestinians have been martyred in continued Israeli aggression in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. The Israeli forces martyred 40 Palestinians during a raid on a compound in Khan Yunis area of the Gaza Strip. At least 23,084 Palestinians have been martyred, including 9,600 children since October 7. The American Secretary of State Antony Blinken met the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in the Saudi Arabian city Lulu and discussed the Gaza war. During the meeting, the American Secretary of State underscored the need to urgently address the humanitarian situation in Gaza and prevent further spread of the conflict. In Russia, passenger planes slid off the runway when landing at Norilsk Airport in Siberia today. No one was hurt in the plane. And finally, the weather report. Mainly cold and cloudy weather is expected in most upper parts of the country, while very cold conditions have been forecast for the northern parts and North Balochistan during the next 12 hours. However, dense fog and smog is likely to persist in the plain areas of the Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and Upper Sindh. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.